The most chaotic moments on divorce court.
Before he punched me! Before he married you!
Before he married me! I married him because I have no family. I'm alone.
I am the judge, the prosecutor, and the witness in this case.
Hey, you talk to me. In here, you're not the judge of anything.
I'm sorry.
Y'all don't know what I deal with. Miss Pinson, you are to speak no further. Get out. Over the Get her out.
First off on the most chaotic moment list, we have got the case that really defines it. What would you do if your husband is a physical abuser with no regrets? As in this episode, Miss Rose filed for a divorce just after 5 months of her marriage. She mustered up the courage to beat the douchebag, Mr. Ben, who had knocked her tooth out. Just think what a terrible kind of abuser he is as he's standing against her in court with no apology.
Because about 8 months ago, I went to call the police because we had a heated argument. He became physical with me. Ever since that day, I have not been the same.
What did
I
you
have done everything to please this man.
Oh my! Why would you test your manly power on your spouse? That's just unacceptable. It kind of looks like he's not only plucked out her tooth, but also damaged her inner strength. Gotta say, if I'd been at that place, I never would have married a man like him.
Well, she doesn't have a
He's a
tooth. She has a
correct-
tooth missing in her mouth, and there's a tooth in this box. I guess it's her.
It is mine, it fits.
So I don't care how it happened. Did you knock her tooth out?
No, Your Honor, I was going to push. I went to push away last time. She was facing the wall this way, and her shoulder's facing here. So I thought still I went through my head to push away, tapped it on her face somewhere.
I'm unable to understand how people come to court and never accept that it was their fault. Just look at Mr. Malone. He kept singing the single note. That was not the push. So if it wasn't then, how did you end up ruining her beautiful smile?
So
On the way
why
out,
isn't
something
that
happened.
intentional if you pushed her?
I intended to push away so I could leave the house.
But let me tell you something, Mr. Malone. A push is wrong.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
think violence has to be when you hit somebody with your fist or when you knock them upside the head with a stick?
No, Your Honor,
But
it
a
wasn't-
push other than a love tap is just as wrong.
So Mrs. Malone's wall of patience fell off, and turned out that she had suffered due to her spouse, and now she's a loner. She could not go out anywhere because not having a front tooth embarrassed her a lot. I can feel that man has caused emotional and mental chaos to this woman.
I thought nobody else would want me.
Why would you think that, Mrs. Malone?
Because I feel really ugly.
Before
he
he-
punched me!
Before he married you.
Before he married me. I married him because I have no family. I'm alone.
Oh man, this woman has really taken a lot in her. Hurt can be seen on her face. Rose further claimed that Ben had stopped taking her out, and she feels like she's a hermit. I must say, this is all twaddle. This should not have happened in the first place.
He doesn't take me out at all.
You were dating before he married you, and you went out
We
partying.
were living together.
You enjoyed life.
Yes, we
And-
had a wonderful time. I spent $700 for my Social Security check. I do everything for him.
However, when Judge asked him about his actions, he started to play smart. But no one was buying his "we're married now" thing. Further, he asserted that Miss Rose herself was an antisocial person, and he couldn't do anything about her nature.
What happened to the party and the good time?
We stopped partying until we got married, Your Honor, before that. Can't
I
afford
mean, what
the
happened
party.
you taking her out?
I still try to take her out. I try to take her where I go to see my friends and things. She doesn't want to go. She
Oh,
won't
suddenly
go.
you can't afford to party now that you got
We
married.
got married, we stopped partying. It wasn't that much
Because I
partying
paid
anyway,
for
Your Honor.
everything.
Up next, the husband stated that he's not gotten her tooth fixed because he couldn't pay for it. Duh, but he could afford to knock out her tooth. But the judge dismissed him due to his stupid and dumb excuses, like this.
I'll try to make payments on it, Your Honor. So
What do
I'll
you
pay
mean
for
you'll
half
try?
the tooth, Your Honor.
And they won't allow you to make payments?
No, Your Honor, I don't have a Visa
He
card, I don't have a
wants
bank
food
account.
on my Visa card.
I just want to try to make payments to one of these dentists down, Your Honor. At least pay for half of the tooth, what I
So
can
did you
afford.
start making any payments to the dentist?
No dentist would accept payments, Your Honor, without a Visa card.
And finally, he took charge and took responsibility of fixing her tooth. He stated that he would pay for what he did, and that was surely needed. And to make his words compact, Judge immediately called herself and set the things up. But disclaimer, friends, never choose a man like Ben, or you will be the next Rose.
You know the name of the dentist?
No, Your Honor, I don't remember the dentist's name, Your Honor.
Who knows the name of the dentist?
I could call my mother, she get his name. She goes to him now.
Do you know the name of this dentist? I've gotten the number for the dentist from Mr. Malone's mother. Mr. Malone, I'm going to order you to pay it if he will accept the plan.
Could you imagine how it would be to marry someone who micromanages your every little moment? Mrs. Harris rolled up in the court, saying that her husband is the obsessed control freak who has jeopardized their relationship. Furthermore, she asserted that while he is a manipulative stalker and has put on tracking devices on her phone, meanwhile, Mr. Harris claimed that his spouse is a rude bully. Let's move to the plaintiffs and see if they'll change themselves to save their marriage.
Ms. Harris, you are here today because you say you have had enough. You say your husband is an overbearing stalker.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Gidron, you say your wife is a self-centered club girl who is constantly making you feel bad about your weight. You say you are ready to walk away if she does not make a change.
Yes, Your Honor.
As the testimony proceeded, Wifey stated that her partner is an insecure freak who has been toxic throughout their relationship. But hubby spilled the rational facts that have surely supported his testimony, like this.
My husband is a manipulator stalker. He is insecure. He's toxic. He makes me want to tell people that I hate marriage.
My wife still thinks she's 16, 17. She thinks she our daughter's age. She can run the club, do what she want to do, and don't have to explain to me about anything.
Mr. Harris told the court that his wife has injected doubts in him because she's been suspicious. Oh, I get that. She's calling him a stalker because he wanted to follow up with his wife about wherever she was up to. But it turned out that she tried to fool him, but he caught her red-handed like this.
And I followed her. She went to her friend's house. They went out, then they went out to eat, and then they went to the club. So I was already at the club.
Did she give you any reason to need to follow her?
She got a phone call from a guy, then she run in the bathroom. So she stayed in there, she talking. Then she get back on the phone with her. So she's like, man, they gonna meet us at the club.
As the trial moved ahead, things were falling in his favor, and he revealed that his wife has the habit of drinking and partying along with different guys. I guess they both are alike. One is the bully, and the other's the control freak. Don't know where their marriage will go from this point on, as Miss Harris put on the self-defense show.
And she get to dancing with these different guys, she mislead them. So at the end of the night, they could think they going home with her. That's misleading to men.
In your mind, you are trying to help her avoid an uncomfortable and possibly dangerous situation.
Yeah, I tell her this all the time.
However, the nasty behavior of the lady has raised questions. So Judge Starr asked her how she could talk nasty and dirty about the person whom she has to care about. Yes, I must say, Miss Yogi was rude and a mouthful to him. Seems like she wants to end this right away.
I do want this relationship.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, just talking to him in that way is one of the most insulting things I've ever seen. And I rarely get an opportunity to say to another woman, no man is going to put up with you speaking to him in such a bullying and nasty fashion. And you know, you pushing him to be paranoid.
Oh my! They did not have any foundation of the relationship, as she was clearly stating that he was never her man. And up next, she admitted that she married him for stability only. Well, yes, ma'am, you ruined his life. So why are you dragging and claiming him the only party responsible?
Because a relationship really never dies a natural death. Relationships are murdered by ego, attitude, and ignorance. And I'm hearing all of that. Ego, attitude, and ignorance. You say you love him, but I'm not sure that you like this man.
Okay, so we've heard enough of their testimony. Their statements were not helping the judge to settle their dispute. So she articulated the truth, told them that it's unchangeable, and ruled over their case like this.
Ms. Harris, you're entitled to be happy, but to put the work into this relationship is going to take real communication. I see the kind of marriage, and I don't want your children down the line. It's time for us to figure out how to co-parent, because as partners, I don't think you can coexist.
Love bloomed quickly, but after 4 years and 3 children, they hit the sore part of their wilted marriage. That's why Ms. Costello stepped up in the courtroom, saying that her husband is an irresponsible addict. Meanwhile, Joseph stated that his wife is a gold digger and sore materialistic. And now things have stopped working out for them, so they want a divorce. Just a quick question. What would you do if your patience with your partner's bad habits has run out? Tell me down in the comments. But until then, let's hear their testimony.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Gabrielle Costello and Joseph Costello. Mr. and Mrs. Costello, you two have been married for 4 years and you have 3 children together. And you have come here to divorce court for me to resolve some financial situations that have arisen, and I will take care of that momentarily.
As Judge Lynn started with Mr. Joseph, he testified that his wife has a pure money thirst, and money is the only thing she cares about. He asserted that she demands additional expenses other than child support, and that's what makes her a gold digger. Well, money is a human need, so playing this card is all in vain.
Always about money with her. Money this, money that. 2 weeks ago, I came down from Tucson to Laughlin, Nevada to see my children for the weekend. I went to meet Felicia Flores at the nightclub. It was 10 o'clock at night. Gabrielle, when she got off work, was texting me, blowing up my phone, wanting her child support money. She tracked me down to the club, found me. I gave her the $200 she demanded. I didn't really have any much to give her. So she kind of popped off in the attitude because I didn't give her any extra.
However, Miss Gabrielle spilled the beans and alleged that the hubby has never paid any additional money. All he has ever paid is just for children. And Mr. Costello spends a stack of money on painkillers, and he's addicted to it. How's about that for an addiction?
It's all the money that he ever gives me is for the children. He's not financially stable with the money. He got in a car accident, which I feel bad for. So he got addicted. He got prescribed pain medication for his back. Well, he got addicted to it, and it became $200, $300, $400 a month that he would spend on extra pain pills for his habit.
So the judge called the witness and asked her to add something regarding the current situation of the Costellos' marriage. It turned out that Miss Florence has a relationship with a man, and she has shared a relationship of friends with benefits. Looks like she was manipulating the situation, which started an argument, but Judge Lynn reminded her who is the boss here, like this.
I am the judge, the prosecutor, and the witness in this case.
Hey, you talk to me. In here,
I'm
you're
sorry.
not the judge of anything.
I'm sorry.
That's just me. You're his friend, you're sleeping with him, right?
That's all she is sleeps with
Miss
him.
Costello?
And taking care of your kids and you ain't
Miss
around.
Flores?
Yeah.
Even though she had tried her best to unbalance the situation, she didn't stop. The witness accused Miss Costello has troubled her husband a lot, as she always squabbles over money and she doesn't spend money on useful things or kids. However, I guess she forgot that she's playing on the wrong ground.
He gave him the child support. He went and met up with her, gave her $200. He went to pick up his kids at 8:30 the way he was supposed to. And she's like, oh, they need shoes, they need shorts. He went out of his pocket again, spent another $80 on his kids, which is fine, those are his children. But the whole point is she doesn't spend the child support money on her kids.
If you think she stopped here, you must see what she claimed next. She alleged that Miss Gabrielle is the bully and the harasser. And this is where she pushed the plaintiff to her limits. So she turned the pole to her and articulated the truth this way.
6 days a week, he only gets down here once a month to see his children, and when he does, she's calling, she's harassing. She questions the kids, where are you? The poor kids have to lie, Your Honor.
Why are you so upset? What was it about what she said that you
She doesn't
found so
anything to any of this.
Finally, Judge Toller dismissed the new woman in Joseph's life and shared her opinion over her manipulated and chaotic testimony. I must say, there should be no involvement of any third person in any relationship, as they won't do any good for you.
You're just the thing on the side. You have really no input in this. You have no right to cause any more friction than they are. Mr. Costello seems halfway cool, even if he's annoyed.
I vent to her. I mean, she's the only one I have to talk to.
And you can vent, but you don't get to say anything.
Nevertheless, after hearing all of their troubled testimony, Judge Lynn gave them a valuable life tool. A book about emotional control. Yeah, they needed that badly because they've lost the track that led them to find their way back to the possible optimistic situation.
I'm gonna give you a book about emotional control. It's a book I wrote about living with people who are mentally ill, how you don't lose yourself in that process by being in control of your own process. I want you to read it. Honest to God, I want you to. It's called My Mother's Rules. I'm gonna give it to you. Please read it. I mean, please.
Verbal assault can be just as damaging as physical assault. As in this case, Miss Shakola dragged Mr. Tommy into the divorce court because she has mustered up the courage to be vocal about the harassment and aggressive behavior she's faced from her husband. Now she's ready to break his traditional marital rules and shut down his offensive attitude. Let's head to their points and see if their relationship boat is about to sink, or if they'll bother to make significant changes to continue together.
I'm here today with Shakola Pinson and Tommy Pinson. The two of you have been married for 14 years. You have been separated for 3. You now want to divorce one another.
So the man started off telling the court when and why their relationship went wishy-washy. It was revealed that things went sour when she quit to go to the church, and then suddenly she blew off their whole 14-year relationship like that.
She started going to a church down in Calhoun. She wanted to start doing it during the week. I text her, she didn't answer the text, and then finally I got a hold to her. She answered the phone. We got into a real bad argument and stuff. I was already mad. I had to get up. I was already late for work.
After hearing the husband's testimony, the judge asked the spouse about her perception of the story. and she revealed that Mr. Tommy is the verbal abuser, and he calls her belittled and alligator-skinned. He pretends to be the best cozy and humble man, but he's the opposite of what he shows off. Oh my, that's so gross and soul damaging.
In front of people, he can be the sweetest person. Everybody would call me fat. I have eczema. He would call me names, say alligator skin in front of my family. If I wasn't a strong woman, you would have broke me a long time ago.
However, Tommy didn't let her say it all and asserted that she has done the same to him by making fun of his appearance. Well, if that's the case, then it is tit for tat. But whatever this couple is practicing is unacceptable and destructive to oneself.
She would call me
But
slow.
if I called him a name, it was only after he called me, when he would always initiate.
Stupid heifer. I mean, what brings that up?
It was like, if she didn't get her way, we'll get into a bad argument and everything. I look at all these good men, how they treat their wife and everything. Say, why you always trying to compare me?
Oh my, they're getting on Judge Lynn's nerves. Mr. Pinson told that he thinks that she's left him just to be with Miss Jones. What? Does that mean she chose to live her life as a lesbian? Ma'am, how could you fall out of 14-year relationships that easily?
I feel like she left me for another woman.
That's not true.
Which is her.
I knew he
Okay, look,
It's not
hey,
we don't been in situations. A family member came to me saying that, you know, my mama doing this, she doing that, you know, she got this other girl over there.
Miss Pinson, here.
I had already left him at that time.
Do you hear me talking?
Okay, so Miss Shakola's girlfriend beat around the bush. Instead of getting to the point, she started bluffing. She alleged that Mr. Tommy is intimidating by her, and he has been calling his wife by different names.
He's saying like she left him for me. No, what it is, he intimidated by me. He called her names and bring up the kids' names.
Why would he be intimidated by you?
Cause first when she go pick her kids up, she'd be like 5 minutes, like 9:05, 9:10. He'd be like, you late, and just start calling her names.
Oh, the woman's continuous interruption finally pushed Judge Lynn Toller beyond her limit. So she bashed her badly and threw her out of the court with her girlfriend like this, and told Mr. Pinson to get rid of this woman and enjoy his freedom to the fullest.
Yeah,
I don't know what I dealt with.
Miss Pinson, you are to speak no further. And you made all up these little reasons why you couldn't be with anymore because you chose a different lifestyle, which is up to you.
Get out over the years.
Get her out.
To your
Mr.
left.
Pinson,
Right back there.
feel the weight lifting off your shoulders.
I receive it.